Hey everyone, Jacob here. Just got done with the review of my Grayman Satu. Have some time left, so I decided I'd do a review of the Horseman. It is February 3rd. Definitely, I won't be able to get this uploaded today. I'll get the Satu uploaded today, and then I'll get this uploaded the next day. Probably take, I don't know, 2.5, 3 hours. Um, so this is the Emerson Horseman. And if you follow me on Instagram, there's no way you don't know about it. I got lots of pictures, and it's what really started my collection and got me into the higher end tactical knives, I guess. Because before it was pretty much these type of knives: Griptilian, Mini Griptilian, Delica, Leek, and other knives, which aren't bad knives, but it's completely different compared to the Emerson and the Horseman. Great knives though for if you're like beginning and getting to knives. So this is what really started it, and that's why my username is Jacob1866. It's also why my USN username is Jacob1866. Guess the number on this Horseman. This one has, I'll go ahead and give the specs real quick before I start talking more about it. 3.5 inch blade, 1/2 inch wide, 0.125 inches thick, or 1/8 of an inch. 8.35 inches long overall, and then 4.8 ounces, so half of the, a little less than half of the Satu. Okay, now I'll start talking more about it. I'll start from the tip and go down. Been used and abused a ton. When I first got it last year, it wasn't even used. I just abused it. I don't know why. Stabbing it to the metal, which is how I broke the tip. And instead of reprofiling the edge for hours and hours, I just ran the back of the tip right here, which is why it's uncoated, on a belt sander for maybe 30 seconds or so. Blade is like has a slight up sweep to it, which I really do like. It's kind of like a Persian style wave feature, which if you even know anything about knives, you definitely know about the wave. G10, which is normal for Emerson. Nice thick pivot, which is a flathead, which I really like because just use my fingernail. Of course, a flathead screwdriver, a penny, just about anything. I usually use my fingernail because it's usually not that hard to just tighten it just slight. Nice thick stop pin. Jimping, not gonna lie, pretty useless. Doesn't do anything at all. It's like it's not even there. So that's probably one of the only things, but in my personal opinion, if you got good ergonomics, you don't need jimping, because you're usually not stabbing or anything like this. You're usually doing it like a hammer grip. But oh well, that's just what I think. Very ergonomic. There's a thing, Emerson ergonomics, and it's definitely true. Probably the most ergonomic knife ever. I just love the feeling of it, even when it's closed. I haven't tested it, but I would assume this would be good for breaking glass. It seems it would. Again, haven't tested it, but even when it's closed, it's still extremely comfortable. So if I needed to, I'd probably this summer, if I find a piece of glass, I'll definitely try it and upload a quick video of it. Probably just put it on Instagram. I'm sure that would break glass. It'd definitely be good for smashing someone in the hand with it if you needed to, for non-lethal self-defense. Also, the back of here, it's kind of, I think it's called a boat tail finish style. That's definitely good for impact if you'd ever need to. So like I said, Emerson pivot, flathead, very simple. Phillips head for everything else, which is awesome, because I'd say every single house in the world has a Phillips head screwdriver. Not every everybody would have a Torx bit. But I know when I first got into knives, I didn't have a Torx bit driver, which is how I stripped the screws on my old Ontario Rat 1 because I was using a flathead. Not sure if I said this before, but 154 cm blade, like every Emerson. I think I've only heard of one Emerson Commander that was S30V. I believe there's a guy who had a video who had an insane Emerson collection. I think one had S30V, but 99.99% of the time it's just going to be 154 cm. Even his customs are 154 cm. Ran at 57, 59 Rockwell hardness. Some say it's too soft. It is soft, but again, you don't buy an Emerson to have the best edge retention. You buy it to abuse the thing. Which, in my opinion, and Nothing Fancy has a great interview with Ernest Emerson, where Ernest talks about what he does and why he does it. And pretty much it's because Ernest Emerson designs and makes his knives to be used, and if you have a really hard 154 cm blade and you go pry something or you stab a piece of metal, the entire blade could snap, or the entire tip off to here could be broken off, or the edge could have a massive chip in it. But with this, I know if I was in the field, I'd much rather have my edge go a little dull after using it and spend 3 minutes sharpening it and have the blade just snap in half. And then you can't really do anything with a broken knife. So that's why Ernest Emerson picks 154 cm and runs it at the hardness he does. But for EDC task, it's more than fine. People also hate the chisel edge. All Emerson knives come with a chisel edge. Not all of them come with a chisel grind though. The grind on this is a V edge or a saber grind. Also on the Commander, it has a V grind, but they all have chisel edges. Now the CQC7, this is my 970. This has both a chisel grind and a chisel edge. I reground this one with some stones and sandpaper to have a convex front portion, and I really thinned out the edge right here, so it is very, very sharp. This is a full chisel grind and chisel edge. I have pretty much only two complaints with Emerson, or things I'd change. One is I wish they would do right-handed chisel grinds and chisel edges, because if you think about it, right hand, which is most people when they're using the knife, with a chisel edge or a chisel, if you ever done woodworking or anything, with a chisel, you have the wood here. You want your chisel to come down like this, the flat portion facing towards the wood you're cutting, and you want your grind here so that the wood will curl up facing outwards. Because if you have it the opposite way, you have your grind here, you have to angle it at almost probably like a 90-degree angle or a 45. This you can go much shallower. So that's really the only complaint. Still cuts good though. I don't use my Emersons for woodworking. If I was going to do that, I'd use actual woodworking tools. But that's just the only thing I'd kind of complain about. And they do that because it looks better. Because if you pick up a knife, and especially if you're not really into knives, you don't know much about Emerson, you pick up a knife and the side you're looking at, because most people pick it up and look at this side right here. You pick it up and look at it and it's flat, you're not going to like it that much. But if you pick it up and it has a bunch of grinds on it, it's going to look a lot better to you. It's just the way people are. You don't really ever pick up a knife and do this with it. You pick it up and look at it like this. So that's really the only complaint. Need to hurry up and get this done. It's at 10 minutes now. TI liner, stainless steel, non-locking liner. 2007, I believe they changed and switched to this configuration. Before it was dual TI. You can see liner lock at 100% with blade play because I was an idiot with it and abused it. But Emerson's warranty and customer service is some of the best. I had an issue with an Endeavor I got where I guess the detent ball fell out of it. I didn't realize it until later, but detent ball fell out and had some other problems. I sent it in, and 2 weeks later I had a brand new Endeavor. Ended up trading that anyways for a Jungle Commander. But so just send this into Emerson. They cover Lockwood under warranty even with their frame locks. So send it in. 2 weeks later I'll have a brand new liner. I hope that was everything. I'm pretty sure it is. So again, I'll get this uploaded probably the 4th. I'll try. I'm not sure if I mentioned this. I'll do it real quick though. Centering, good on here. People complain that it's a rough finish on the inside of the liners that makes Emerson not very smooth. But that's not true at all. It's got almost nothing to do with it. Get to focus real quick. Definitely don't want to go over 15 minutes. Right there. It's kind of rough, but it's got nothing to do with it. It's the double detent. If you can, handle a Emerson Vindicator or a Z-Lot, I think it's pronounced. Because those have single detents, and those are stupid smooth. Okay, that's about it. I gotta shut this off. Review of this Benson next probably, and that's about it. Okay, thanks for watching. See you.